Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. So today I'm going to talk about what it's really like doing joint honours at uni. So if you didn't know, a joint honours degree is when you do two subjects instead of one. Now this doesn't mean it's a double degree, it doesn't mean you're doing two single degrees separately. It just means that instead of focusing on one subject in your degree, you split your time across two. So I know that people, especially maybe younger people who are only just starting to look at uni, may not know that that's the case. So that is what a joint honours degree is, and that's what I am currently doing. Videos like zero planned at all. It's just going to be me kind of going through the thoughts of like what I kind of wish I'd known before I went on to joint honours course. So if you didn't know, I am an English literature and philosophy joint honours student at university. I wanted to do those two subjects together for as long as I can remember. I really enjoyed both of them at school, and I didn't really want to give either of them up. So I'd say like that's the main reason for doing joint honours, is like if you have two subjects you love that you don't really want to give up. For me at my uni, English and philosophy in my uni are in the same school, so schools are like departments. So you've got mine, which is English and philosophy, there's like geography, there's like journalism. But luckily mine are in the same department, so they're very closely connected, very well organised. They're run by the same admin staff, obviously different lecturers because they're two different subjects. So I know that one of the things that I was unsure of before I started my course was whether I'd have more work to do than my friends in either one of the courses, which completely isn't the case. I wasn't sure whether I'd like do 50-50 or what, but my uni does 50-50. So everyone within my school does 6 modules in a year, whether you're doing English or philosophy or one of the other thingies that comes underneath there. So I do 3 modules in each one every year. So this year I did 3 in English and 3 in philosophy. So this year there's actually been a lot of overlap between the two subjects because our philosophy department doesn't have 6 modules, it only has 4. A lot of my friends in philosophy were also in some of my English classes as well. So in philosophy this year we had 3 core modules. So out of all of the philosophy modules there are, I only didn't take 1. I was learning pretty much the same things minus 1 module as the rest of my peers in philosophy were doing. Quite good, it meant that we were all talking about the same things, we're all in the same exams, we're all writing like similar essays. You didn't feel like you weren't part of philosophy because there was only 1 module that you weren't in, and a lot of philosophy is joint honours students anyway. I don't know if that's just a case of my uni or whether it's a case everywhere in the UK. That is what it's like here. English on the other hand, I was not aware that I would not get given all of the option modules for first year. So before we got given the modules that we ourselves could choose from, I looked online and I really wanted to do one of the creative writing ones, but as a joint honours student that was not available to me. So one tip I would say is when you're looking at unis, if you're looking at particular modules, email the uni, email the faculty and be like, as a joint honours student, can I take this? I know I was slightly disappointed that I couldn't take it, but I've really enjoyed my other modules that I've done. So English had a way wider selection of modules. So we had 1 core one and then everything else you could choose. But English in particular is a lot of reading. So my friends who did full-on English were doing a lot more work than I was having to do, only doing half of the course, which as a slow reader that's worked out really well for me. It's meant that I can balance the 2 subjects really well, and also if you get a bit bored of one you can just switch to the other, which I really like. I think, as I mentioned earlier, another thing I was worried about is that I wouldn't feel like I was part of either like cohort of students, like I wouldn't feel aligned to English or philosophy. And I definitely don't think that's been the case. Like I've been to both our English Lit and our philosophy balls, and they were 2 separate because it's 2 separate societies that run them. I've got friends in philosophy and I've got friends in English, and I will say that my friends in English are like my better friends just because a few of them live in my current house at the moment, so I spend a lot of time with them, and then I'm living with them next year as well, so that's kind of how that's worked out. In terms of work, I would say if you're looking at doing English Lit and you are a slow reader like me and there is another subject that you really like that you can do a joint honours with, I would definitely recommend it because it does just break up the amount of reading you're having to do. One thing that I personally didn't have an issue with this year, but I know that some people doing joint honours did, is that their modules clashed, especially if you're in 2 different schools. So I know that the journalism and English Lit joint honours students, quite a lot of their things clashed, and even if they didn't, the building for one might be like somewhere way far over the other side of town, then you have to be somewhere, you know, on the other side in like 10 minutes, which just isn't possible. So I know some people did have to like rearrange their modules and rearrange which seminars they were going to, because they were going to overlap either other lectures, or it just wasn't going to give them enough time to get to the different subject within the time period that they'd allowed. Yeah, I definitely say that the main misconception about joint honours is that it's like double the work, which it definitely isn't. It's the same amount of work just split across 2 subjects. It's kind of like, it's basically like A-levels. If you're doing 3 subjects, it doesn't matter what 3 subjects they are, it's like, you know, I'm split across them. I'm just trying to look up like joint honours questions on my phone. I definitely think that joint honours degree definitely allows you to be like way more social in uni. Like, I feel like I meet so many more people on like a day-to-day basis than maybe people who are only doing 1 degree, like 1 subject, because obviously you're mixing with different people doing different subjects. Especially, as I said before, like philosophy is a very like joint honours-y degree. There's like history, there's Spanish, there's French, like politics. People do such like a vast range of subjects, so you definitely get to meet a lot of different people, which I would definitely say is one of the highlights of doing a joint honours degree. Okay, so a question on this article that I'm looking at is, how do you choose the right 2 subjects? My best advice on this is, if you are looking into doing a joint honours degree, you're probably watching this video because you're thinking that there's 2 subjects that you love that you want to do together and you don't really know which one to choose, do as a single honours. That's definitely where I was, and I'd say if you can't choose, if you're currently in, you know, year 12, year 13, applying to uni, and you cannot choose between 2 subjects, you can find a uni that does both and lets you do them together. Just go for that. If you're so passionate about 2 things that you don't want to let either of them go, I'd definitely recommend, rather than choosing doing a joint honours, because at the end of the day, if you decide when you get to uni that actually one of them isn't working out for you, it's so easy to switch onto a single honours course of just 1. I know that some people, even at this late stage in the year when we're about to do exams, are going to take their exams but are then just going to switch onto a single honours course. So it's a possibility, and if you can't make up your mind, it's definitely something to bear in mind. Obviously, I wouldn't recommend changing your degree like halfway through it unless you really don't like it, but personally I'm really loving my joint honours and would definitely stick with it, but you can change it if you need to. Are they worth taking is another question on this thing. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm taking one, so obviously I'm a little bit biased, but I learn about so many different things. So like you just learn about, in philosophy there's like, you know, perception, and like we look at some really strange stuff in philosophy, but in philosophy we look at ethics, politics, medical ethics, and then like philosophical things like thinkings, and it's really fascinating, but it can be quite difficult time when you're trying to get your like head around these concepts. Whereas on the other hand, you have English, where I'm like studying different books, so it's like a different book every week and the lecturers have different views on them, but it's really nice just to give your brain a break from one subject and switch to the other. I'd definitely say they're worth taking, and also it looks really good on a CV because you've managed to juggle your time between 2 different subjects, which shows organisational skills, etc. So yeah, they're definitely worth taking. I am biased though. Have any questions, because I'm struggling to think of what I wanted to know about joint honours other than what I've already said, which doesn't seem like that much. Please either leave them in the comments down below, or I'll leave my Twitter and Instagram links in the description box as well, and you can send me questions on there. I check those a lot more frequently than I check YouTube. But I really hope that you found this video helpful if you are looking to do a joint honours degree. I'm kind of like uploading loads of different like uni style videos at the moment because I'm getting to the end of 1st year. So if that is your kind of thing, please don't forget to subscribe and also hit that notification bell as well. And I'll see you in my next video.